Hey guys, it's Frank. Welcome back to my channel. I have no idea why I did that, but I wanted to do something different than the boring, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So that's what I came up with. As you can tell by the video title, I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to my 6 reasons why you shouldn't move to Toronto, but instead of it being Toronto, it's going to be Winnipeg. And instead of 6 reasons, it's going to be 7 reasons because, well, the home city just gets one more reason to get ripped on. So to provide some context, believe it or not, I was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And before you guys start thinking,
but Frank, where are you really from? No. Where are you really from? I thought you were from Toronto or at least some part of Asia.
Well, if I wasn't from Winnipeg, would I be able to tell you that Winnipeg is the world capital of Slurpees? Or better yet, would I be able to tell you that Winnie the Pooh name originates from Winnipeg? I didn't think so. So for this week's video, I'm be sharing 7 reasons why you shouldn't move to Winnipeg. And disclaimer, the one thing that I want to point out is that the city of Winnipeg isn't as bad as the media outlet makes it out to be. It really just depends on your lifestyle, where you are in your life, and if the city matches you. So without further ado, give this video a good old smash and let's begin. We're going to start off with the item that almost every person in Winnipeg, including myself, can agree with, and that is the long and cold winter months. Similar to how people call Vancouver Raincouver, people call Winnipeg Winterpeg. So this begs the question of what's winter like in Winnipeg, and by doing a simple Google search, this is what it has to say. Out of the Canadian cities, Winnipeg's winter is the 10th coldest with an average low of -20 degrees Celsius. Whereas in Toronto, for example, the average winter temperature is only -5 degrees. But one thing that you really have to take into consideration is this thing known as wind chill. Because once you slap the wind chill on the -20 degrees in Winnipeg, then you'll get temperatures closer to -40. And then at that point, that's when every school division in Manitoba will happily tweet out that their school is still open. But then at that point, that's when every student will complain amongst one another and make light of the situation, only to go to 7-Eleven during lunch hour and buy themselves a Slurpee. Moving on to the next item, and that is the bad transit system that exists in Winnipeg. Now, if you thought the winters were already bad enough, now imagine this. Imagine you are standing by the bus stop and you're waiting for a bus, and that bus only comes every 30 to 45 minutes. It's brutal because you have to sometimes pray to God that if you have to make a transfer onto another bus, you better hope that that other bus isn't ahead of schedule, or else it's just gonna fly by and then you're just gonna have to wait another 30 minutes or so. And for some random odd reason that you're thinking about moving to Winnipeg, just understand that unlike Vancouver or Toronto, a vehicle is almost a requirement to make your way around the city, as you don't want to waste time or become the next snowman. The third reason is something that really resonated when I was making the decision whether I wanted to move back to Winnipeg or to Calgary, and that was the limited opportunities that exist in Winnipeg. Now, being born and raised in Winnipeg, I never really understood or saw this being much of an issue, as this was all I knew at the time. However, it wasn't until I moved out of Winnipeg that I really gained the perspective of the limited opportunities that exist there, from post-secondary education, work opportunities, and just food, restaurants in general. And now looking back, the big reason why I didn't want to move back to Winnipeg was that I just felt like there was just this imaginary glass ceiling in terms of what I wanted to do long term. For example, imagine yourself being the greatest actor or a star athlete at your school, but your likelihood to get scouted and make it into the big leagues are significantly diminished, or the limited resource that goes into these areas. And if you still don't believe me, just imagine LeBron James. And instead of him playing basketball down in the States growing up, he grew up in Nunavut. And you gotta ask yourself, would he be where he is today had he played in Nunavut instead of down in the States? The fourth reason why you may want to consider not moving to Winnipeg, and that is the crime rates. Now, I want to be careful with the subject, as I understand that news outlets already over-amplifies Winnipeg being the murder capital and the car auto theft capital of Canada. Having been a person that has lived on both ends of the city, I am first to say that it really boils down to the area that you're living in. And this rule pretty much applies to any city that you're living in. And many locals would argue that the issue lies within the north end part of the city, but Kevin Walby, a criminology professor, mentioned if we take a deeper look into the issue, we've got this perfect storm of deprivation. We have a province that is not providing funds for health. We have a city that is not providing funds for housing. So it doesn't surprise me that transgression is going up. But having said all that, to the people from an outside perspective, no, the city isn't like 8 Mile, but I can also see from their end that if they were thinking of potentially moving to Winnipeg, that this may be something that would maybe steer their direction out of it due to the crime rates and what's portrayed from the media outlets. The fifth reason is the limited restaurant food options that exist in Winnipeg. As a person that just loves food and experienced the infinite diverse food options that exist in Toronto, wow, Winnipeg's food restaurants are just so dry, so bland. And I still remember back in the day when I would talk to my friends and I would ask them where would they like to go eat for food, and their answers are just so boring. They'll literally just be like,
"Hey Frank, you know where we should go for lunch for today? We should go to Joey's. Wait. Maybe Boston Pizza. I love the pasta. Or maybe Olive Garden. I just love the free bread."
But I mean, to be fair, I do love these places, but trying something that's out of the franchise options, there's not too many in Winnipeg. The sixth reason why you shouldn't move to Winnipeg, and that is mosquitoes. Oh, just thinking about it, I hate mosquitoes. This was the one thing that I appreciated about living downtown Toronto, because there wasn't a single mosquito when I was there. I will gladly take the car honking, the smog, in exchange to kill off all the mosquitoes. Okay, but seriously though, there just exists a lot of mosquitoes in Winnipeg. It's almost to the point where you can only truly enjoy the outdoors in Winnipeg for only 2 months, and that is the springtime, because if you break it down by season, well, your winters are realistically 8 months long, and then in your summertime, you are basically spraying down your body with off mosquito repellent. And then I went online only to discover by the Wall Street Journal that Winnipeg after all is home to more mosquitoes than any other city in North America. It's so bad to the point where you will literally see a white truck that is fogging up your neighborhood, and that's basically repelling the mosquitoes. And while this is happening, you're staring out of your window, deeply satisfied that it's happening. And last but not least, we have our seventh reason, and that is a too slow paced city vibe. I mean, I get it, it really depends on your lifestyle, but as a person who has lived in Winnipeg, Toronto, and Calgary, I can definitely say that Winnipeg's pace of the city is way too slow. Like I mentioned before, people are just overly happy when the smallest things happen, of like Popeyes going to Winnipeg, or the Winnipeg Jets finally returning back home. And it goes even further with the people that live in Winnipeg. And to be honest, I find the people in Winnipeg the most genuine types of people compared to Toronto or Calgary. But in terms of the city's way of thinking, I find people being a lot more laid back, chilled, or a I'll do it later vibe. And for me personally, having tasted the lifestyle of the hustle and grind in Toronto, to go back to Winnipeg where it goes way back, it was just too much of a change that at my current stage of my life, I just couldn't do. So to conclude this video, as a friendly reminder, this video isn't to hate on Winnipeg, it's to rather give you a perspective of one Canadian city over another. And as much as you want to say that Winnipeg being the worst Canadian city in Canada, I am first to say that it's definitely not true, and it's not what the media outlet makes it out to be. Trust me, as a person that has now lived in 3 different Canadian cities, I can promise you the people in Winnipeg are some of the kindest individuals. They like to build genuine friendships, just a real down-to-earth people that exist in that city. And this excels and goes beyond anything that I experienced in both Toronto and Calgary. So with that said, as always, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what your thoughts are about Winnipeg. I'd love to read it. Smash the like button for this video. What else can I say? I'll see you all in my next video. Peace!